We're going to Chichebe, which is this small village where we collect seaweed and limp it for the restaurant. There are a couple of places also to take some flowers, but I don't know if we still can get them. This one called monkey flower smells a little bit like saffron when you dry it. Yeah, one day we just saw that there were a lot of these flowers that we could possibly use them for the menu, so we just decided to create something around it. So it's nice to have these small surprises around the island. My name is Sebastián Jiménez Garcia, and I am originally from Mexico. I was born in Tlisco, Puebla, small little village in Puebla. I'm 28 years old, and I love this. I think Ræst is a very magical and unique place where we are interpreting Faroese culture. Ræst means fermented in Faroese, so we work around fermentation. Every single dish has at least one fermented ingredients from the whole menu.
When the Norse Vikings came around 850 in long-distance ships, went back and brought sheep with them. There has probably been forests of woody vegetation on the Faroe Islands before they arrived, but in a very short time, most of the woody vegetation disappeared, and many other habitats for plants. Right now, about 80% of the Faroe Islands are covered by heath. Low woody vegetation dominated by grassland and heather, so Calluna vulgaris.
Being able to interpret my own type of cuisine as a chef right now, respecting all the Faroese cultures and traditions, for me it's very nice, and I really like it because I feel that I am making Faroese people proud about their ingredients and their fermentation.
We're living in a time where the food we're eating, everything comes from something that is industrialized. When you're interacting with food, you normally do it either in a supermarket or at a restaurant, but what you're not seeing is where the produce coming from. You're not seeing the choices being made. You're not seeing the impact that it has on nature. When you go out into nature, you experience firsthand what it is that you are picking, and you see the nature, and you see the impact of climate change on the places you come again and again. Foraging gives us a way to actually engage with what's around us and understand and get closer to nature. And I think that's on a wider scale. If we were all just foraging just a little bit, we would all appreciate the value of nature.
You might think there are not so many ingredients here in the Faroes, but then you have the sea. Seafood is, of course, something we cannot go and dive and get it ourselves. You need to have a license, you need to know how to use equipment, and then, of course, you need to know where to go out there and dive. I think it's also nice, like, it's part of the chain. Like, you cannot always do everything yourself. You have to support and being able to help the community as well. So if there is someone who has been doing this for many, many years, then why not rely on him and then just keep the tradition, keep the flow?
If you're foraging by the sea, of course you need to know, is the sea clean? What's out there, and is the water clean enough? When you're foraging for seaweed or mussels or shrimp, you want to know where things are in the water.
For shellfish, I normally go down to 15 meters of maximum. This time of the year it should be around 10 degrees approximately. Yeah, but I can see that on my computer while I'm diving also. In the winter time it gets down to 6 degrees sometimes, 7 or 6 degrees. Today is Sunday and this is my second dive today. So yeah, let's go diving. I've been diving since the last perhaps 15 years or something. Diving in Faroe Islands is special because of the visibility, especially in the winter time. The waters is very clear, and also we have some very good places to go diving. Also, there is a lot of sea underwater, of course, with shellfish, fish, and also how the nature is underwater. If you like the nature above the water, you would certainly also like the nature under the water. Look at this one. Here we have a horse mussel called Öva in Faroese. This is from Achersborg here in the Faroes. I'll try to open it. It has a mussel here between. It's a twin shell which is symmetric, and it has a mussel here somewhere. So I will put the knife inside, around that way, then take the knife the other way onto the shell. And then it should open here. As you can see, this horse mussel is orange. It's a male horse mussel. And the males are much bigger inside and more tasty. Leave this for later. Then I'll take the gills. This one is pretty big and pretty fat. Looks good.
You use all of this, also
Yeah.
this.
Yes.
Don't you think it's too hard?
I know. I think it's fine.
You like it?
Yeah.
Okay. The texture is more like a scallop, and the taste is not bad. But I always remove this one. Like that's how they teach me. Like you never eat this, but apparently now you can do it. So let's taste it. Yeah. No?
This is it. Bueno.
It's like an oyster in one go, Widow.
Huh?
In one go.
I'm just going
Bueno.
to taste this one.
Dos, tres.
As a chef, you are always that person in charge of keep those traditions, because food is essential for human life. Without food we will not survive, so we are those who need to preserve that. And now I am a new wave or a new generation of young chefs who are doing it in a different way. Faroese people are very traditional, very square in those regards. So if Ræst has to be done just by boiling it in water, then you have to do it, because there is not another way. So me being able to understand that and still doing it their own way, but then of course having all this background of traveling and understanding the gastronomy in a different perspective is something that it makes it different, and it is something that it really adds something to it.
People on the Faroe Islands, the Vikings, since they arrived, they didn't live on cereals and vegetables for a living. They lived on animal foods like fish and whales, birds, seabirds. There are lots of seabirds on the Faroe Islands, and sheep.
From the 14 courses we have at the tasting menu here at Ræst, the whole inspiration was that at least one dish had to be with a local ingredient or with a very traditional ingredient. We have a fulmar, which is this type of Faroese seagull that I think only Faroese people eat them. Like, I've never in my life tried before. The fulmar is a very interesting protein, very small, similar to a pigeon, kind of. But if I have to describe the taste, it tastes like a bird who has been eating a lot of fish through the whole life, or something like that. It tastes like sea almost, a little bit strong, quite fatty. And then the fulmar is only something we can get late August, where all these birds, when they're fat and they cannot fly, they would just jump out of the nest, and they are not able anymore to go back home. So Faroese people, as one of their few sources of proteins and meat, they were just catching them while sailing. So you have to know someone who can go out and knows when, where, and how to catch it. It's not that something you will go out to the store or to the supermarket or to the food supplier and get one fulmar nice and clean. No, here it's a little bit more wild.
I think there are between 600 and 800,000 breeding pairs of fulmars in the Faroe Islands. Huh? They lay one egg. Some people take the eggs also. Huh? If you take them just right after they lay them, they will lay another one. So you can get eggs and birds for a year. We normally start early in the morning when sun comes up, and we go back home when we can't see the birds. Then we head back home. We do that for a couple of days, and then the freezer is full. That's the mountains here that are so big. And the birds like it where there's a lot of mountains. They nest there. That's why there are more birds here than south. The most traditional way to eat them is to to salt them, because back in the days you didn't have any freezers, huh? So we put them in salt. One day before we ate them, we took them up, put them in water, running water, and then eat them, huh? So it's perfectly salt. And it's very healthy. The difference between this fat, also seabird fat, and other fats, this is healthy fat. It's good for you to eat, huh? I started with my grandparents, then we did everything with hand, peel the feathers off with hand, and we had to use the flames like 5 or 6 times to get all the last feathers off, huh? But now we are more efficient. We have machines and it goes faster.
Seaweed is not traditional here in the Faroe Islands. Faroese people, as far as I know, they are not using seaweeds on their daily basis. But if we can get 5, 6, 7 different types of seaweed here, why we are not using them? We have a coast back in Mexico, but I'm not coming from a coast area. Being able to try, taste, and work with seaweeds here, it was something very impressive. So when we were talking and when I was creating the menu, I said to myself, we need to have a dish full of seaweeds.
If you go under the water in the Faroe Islands, you can find edible organisms, and in fact they are not plants like the land plants. Yeah? So you have the sea truffle, for example. It has a very characteristic smell, it's dimethyl sulfide associates with truffle, and it's a hemiparasite living on another algae. Yeah? And you have the kelp, the northern kelp, that is Saccharina latissimi, that can be cooked to give a very nice umami taste coming from glutamate being released from the plants, and it can be used to make a very strong and good broth and soups. Yeah? So that's maybe the most gastronomical organism you have on the Faroe Islands.
We go whenever the weather allows us to go in the small village that I really love called Kyrkjebø. And then in the beach, like you have to literally put a suit so you could go into the water and then like wait till the tide is a little bit low and then just pick from there. We pickle them, so we take a lot. Like this, we don't have to come like every week because, as you can see, like the weather is not nice sometimes. Of course, we don't go like very, very deep into the water.
If you're foraging for seaweed, different types of seaweed grows at different depths. So you need to know that. You need to know where will this seaweed that I'm looking for, where will this grow? And then it's going out there.
So here we have, I think, we have the spaghetti, we have the sea truffle, that's 2. We have kelp, 3, and then this other one that I don't actually know the name in English. But the sea truffle, I think you should definitely taste it. It's really, really interesting. You can try them just like that, like raw or fresh. Some of them will be a bit more hard to bite. This is a northern kelp, or northern kombu. Different from the kombu from Japan. The one from Japan is a bit long, like more white, This is very thin, and this one is very hard to chew in it. Yeah. This we just pickle it. Yeah.
So there's a few golden rules when you're foraging for seaweed in particular. 90% of all seaweed grows on a rock or a surface that is a hard surface with a small suction thing. And seaweed that's just floating around in the water most times is actually dead seaweed. There are some exceptions, but as a rule of thumb, you shouldn't go for them. You want to cut them from the rock, preferably, to get the most fresh and delicious ingredient. What's important when you're looking for mussels and shellfish in general is that mussels and shellfish, they live by filtering water. So water quality is super important when you're foraging for that.
Even though here in the Faroe Islands the weather is very extreme, there is still summer or something similar to summer. And then there is nice flowers, herbs, and these natural plants that grow here. We try to use them as much as we can. We are trying to follow this seasons-ish here. So if we can get elderflower from July to August, then we will do it, and then we will use it. We try to walk around the island, get inspiration from the beautiful nature, and then sometimes you just find out that there is this beautiful flower called forget-me-not or monkey flower that I will never hear about it.
There are a lot or some.
Myosotis forget-me-not and Mimulus monkey flower are used for decorative purposes. Yeah? To give some taste, you can use the one Romex acetosa solar. It gives a slightly acidic taste, and Cardamina pratensis, or the cocoa flower, gives kind of a taste that is like radish, a little sharp taste. Yeah? Monkey flower or Mimulus, it's an invasive species on the Faroe Islands. It was introduced into the Faroe Islands from Iceland, where it came originally from North America. In 1926 came to Faroe Islands. Yeah? It grows also around streams, where in fact it competes out the other native plants. Yeah? On the mountainsides and in cliffs and rocks, you can find Angelica. There are many medical properties of Angelica. People sometimes think that plants make medicals for our benefit, yeah. But the reason why they are medicals are almost always that there are toxic compounds that we can enjoy in small quantities. Yeah. The plants don't make these compounds to be eaten. They make them, if you only eat the plant, live from the plant, you get sick. Yeah?
Foraging can be, you need to be mindful and you need to be smart about it. There's always plants or mushrooms that you can confuse. I'd say mushrooms is a place where you need to be very mindful. You need to really think about what you're doing. But if you go at it in a methodical and systematic way, it's actually not that dangerous. You need to learn and think about what you're doing. When you look at nutritious, how you actually make a nutritious meal, you need carbohydrates, you need fats, you need all those things. And of course, people have been living off of the land previously, but it requires hunting, it requires a lot of knowledge. So I don't think that we should be living off of just foraged ingredients. I think we should use it as a way to find exciting flavors. I think we should use it as a way to have special ingredients that you can't get anywhere else. And I think we should use it as a way for us to interact with nature around us and actually be in nature.
It feels like we just started the season last week, but it's just the opposite. We're just about to finish our first season here at Ræst. So time can fly, or time can be also be very slow. It is something unique to live here in the Faroe Island, for sure. It's not for everyone.